Good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. This is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And why is it a better way to eliminate debt? Because it is the only way in the entire world that focuses on your interest cost and not just interest rate. What do we mean by that? Oh, my goodness, my goodness. What we mean is every other program I've ever seen or run into or even heard of focuses on how much you owe and how to get rid of what you owe. Well, what you owe isn't the reason for long-term debt. It is the cost. Good morning, Jeremiah. It is the cost of managing what you owe. It is the interest cost on these loans. Did you realize if you have a 3% mortgage, the bank wants 51% of what you borrowed in the form of interest? Meaning, if you have a $200,000 mortgage, now you guys look it up for yourself. If you have a $200,000 mortgage, guess what? The bank wants $103,000 in interest over those 30 years. How in the world is that 3%? That's 51% all day. At 4% is 71%. At 5% is 93% of what you borrowed. And at 6%, the bank literally wants more in interest than you have borrowed in principal. 115.838% on a $200,000 loan, you're going to pay back $230,000 just in interest alone. That's one house for you, one house for the bank. Listen, folks, if you are tired of giving all of that money to the bank, can you put the number 9 in the chat right now? If you're online watching us, go ahead and put it in the comment section. Put a number 9 in the chat right now if you're tired of paying way more interest to the bank than is necessary. Oh, my goodness. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. Miss Jamie says, I'm tired. Mr. Jonathan says, I'm tired. Who else is tired? Lena Baker says, I'm tired with triple nines. She's triple tired. Okay. What else? Who else is tired? Anybody else tired of giving the bank all of that money in interest? And how do you love learning about how not to do it? Well, today, we're going to get more into isolating the principal amount. All right. So we are going to get going here in just a few minutes. But right now, I want to see if there's anybody here who has any questions. Please raise your hand. And if you have a question or comment, now is the time to do it. If you want to see what we're doing online, just pull up your tablet or your laptop and go to either Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or LinkedIn, search P.I.L.L Method. You'll find us there and click on where it says live. You'll be able to see the examples we're putting on the screen this morning. All right. Where's everybody from this morning? I see Kenny, I see Jamie, I see Cassandra, I see Katrina, Brianna, Saeed, I see McNice, Lena, there you are again. Good morning to you, Steve and Jonathan. Listen, where's everybody from this morning? I'm right here in Huntsville, Alabama, talking to you all, having a very good time. And our technician this morning is Mr. Talik. Talik. Listen, Talik, if you ever want to come online and just talk to the folks, you just let me know and we'll bring him up. See, Talik is making sure that I look good on camera, that we can put up the examples on camera. We can put it on the screen so that you guys can see what is happening. All right. So today we're going to be talking about isolating the principal amount. Last week, on Sunday, we had the opportunity cost calculator on the screen going over coming up with the right amount to put on debt. All right. And that's very important. So we're going to be talking about that today. So we're going to bring that up again a little later on. But I'm going to, we're not going to put that up yet. Okay. We're going to put up the screen in just a second so you guys can see what's going on with, let me see here. I think I want to put up an amortization schedule and go over that. And then we'll get back into the opportunity cost calculator. What do you guys think? All right. So let's go ahead, pull this over here. And all right, we're going to close that out. What is happening here? We don't need that. All right, we're going to close this out. There we go. And open up. All right, now we're going to put this on the screen, and I think it's just a little bit too big. Let me minimize it. Okay, there we go. All right. So we have our amortization schedule on the screen. And let's talk about right now, I'm going to need the amortization schedule, and I'm going to need a calculator on the screen as well so that we can talk about this. So we're going to put on the screen right now a $450,000 mortgage at 7.25%. Why 7.25%? Oh, because inflation, because we have high interest rates right now. And so we're going to cover two birds with one stone, just in case somebody is newer to the P.I.L.L method and they're not quite sure what to do with these higher interest rates. I'm going to tell you a secret. I love the higher interest rates. Why is that? Because you can be positioned to pay off debt faster and easier at the higher interest rates because you have a lower principal payment. And when you control the principal payment, you control the loan. You need to write that down. We've got 10 people in here right now. Can I get a few more shares? I'm going to be one of the first ones to share. Thank you, whoever's shared it already. So let's go ahead and share the room. I'm going to put fire emojis and some diamonds, some gems in here with some exclamation points. So people say, well, what is all that about? So they can come in here and find out what it's about. Can I get some more shares? I appreciate that. Why do we do that? Because it gets it out on Clubhouse. We are, excuse me, by putting it out on Clubhouse, people can see that you're in here. And they may say, what is that P.I.L.L method? And so they can find out what's going on. So if you want to see what's going on here, folks, I'm going to help me to put this in the chat. And then we're going to put in, let's see, ice10k.com. You can go there, and then you can also find out the button that says watch us live. And then when you click on that button that says watch us live, then we'll have a series of buttons after that, okay, if you want to go live, you can get the link for YouTube, and you can get the link for Facebook is there, the link for Twitter, and the link for LinkedIn. All right. All 4 links are there. You can copy and paste that into your browser, or you can just go to there and then search for P.I.L.L method. But right now on the screen, I have some people watching us online, and I have some people who are in here in Clubhouse watching us. Okay. So now I have a $450,000 mortgage at 7.25%. And the payment is $3,069.79. So here is the thing that we want to understand when it comes to these loans, folks. If you can afford the payment, all right, if you can afford the payment, then this loan can be for you. If you can afford the payment, then don't be afraid of getting a 7% loan. You know, these folks are saying, wait a while, maybe they'll drop. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll keep on climbing. Okay. So here's what you need to understand. Don't wait to buy your real estate. You buy real estate and wait. Because you have opportunities. You can gain equity. You can start building wealth. Now, let me show you something that's unique about a 7.5% interest rate. The principal payment is small, and the interest payment is quite large. But remember this. Oh, I see Ryan here. I've got a party hat in the room. All right, Ryan, if you want to see what we've got going on here, you want to be on LinkedIn, on Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook on a separate device, and you can see our information. Just search P.I.L.L method, and it will come up. All right. So we have a principal payment of $351.04. That's it. A small principal payment, but the interest payment is $2,718.75. So Don, that's what makes it so expensive, those interest payments. And you would be right. But that's doing it the bank's way. We don't want to do it the bank's way. We want to do it our way. We want to do it the P.I.L.L method way. And by understanding how having a smaller principal payment matters, I'm going to give you just a quick tutorial. On the very first payment you see here, $351.04 goes to principal, $2,718.75 goes to interest. But on the very next line, line 2, $353 goes to principal. Now, if you make your mortgage payment, the very first line, if you make a full mortgage payment of $3,069.79, and you look at, this is just an example of what you could do. You see the principal payment on line 2 is $353.16. Did you realize you don't have to wait till the next month to give the bank that $353.16? You see, before, people didn't know what happens when you paid extra. I'm going to show you. Just by taking some money out of your bank account that's sitting there making 0.1%. What if you were to pay that $353.16 early? What would happen? Well, all of that money would go to principal. That's number one. Number two, you'd be paid down to line 2 on your amortization schedule. And your next month's mortgage payment will actually be on line 3 of your amortization schedule. In other words, for $353.16, you can get rid of 1 month's worth of payments on your mortgage. Line 2 has been eliminated. Yeah, gone, canceled. And the interest on that line, the $2,716.63, you never have to pay. Oh my gosh. All right. So if you can get rid of $2,716 worth of interest by paying $353.16 early, is it important that you know what happens when you prepay? Is it important that you know how powerful small amounts of money are when you attack an amortization schedule? You better believe it's important. Hey, Giovanni, good to see you this morning. All right. All right. And we've got Varen in here. Listen, is that a Grammy Award in the background? You know, I got to check this out. Got a Grammy Award in the background. All right. Multi-platinum award-winning songwriter, artist. Listen, I'm following you right now. You need to follow Mr. Wade here. All right. Because we have a couple of Grammy winners that are on the P.I.L.L method right now. So, and it looks like he's in the UK. All right. All right. All right. And a couple of important people follow him. I love it. Mr. Wade, thank you for showing up with us this morning. All right. Love it. All right. So let's go ahead and get in here, folks. Let's follow what's going on here. All right. Let me see here. So why is it important? Why is it important to understand why do we need to know what is the smallest amount of money we can pay to gain the greatest interest savings? So it's not just about saving the interest. It's not about just paying off fast. What we want to do is optimize our efforts. I want to gain the greatest benefit from the smallest effort. That is what isolating the principal amount will do for us. We want to find out what is the right amount of money to apply to the right debt in the right month on the right day of the month. That's how we do that. That's how we're doing that. So folks, if you want to know more about this, then hang on to your seats and watch what I'm getting ready to do here. Let's say I want to show you something. We're going to take a look at cumulative principal here. Maybe I need to make this just a little bit larger. Okay, we're looking at cumulative principal here. I need you to take a look at this column here, column 3 and column 4, cumulative principal and cumulative interest. And remember, this is just an example. This is not the P.I.L.L method. Oh my gosh, I got 3 shares. Oh, we need to get some more people in here. All right. And while you're getting more people in here, let me do this. All right, Talik, we're going to get ready to show the commercial so that we can allow people to share the room and hear from Dr. Eric Thomas on how he paid off his mortgage using the P.I.L.L method. You see, more and more people are finding out about this. Okay, and more people are talking about the P.I.L.L method. And even if you listen, if you haven't already, try it. Google P.I.L.L method and find out what you see. Hello, Miss Stephanie Rice. How are you doing watching us on YouTube this morning? All right. So, folks, this is what you do. All right. Let's start sharing the room. And we'll, for the next 90 seconds, we'll have Dr. Eric Thomas talk to us. All right, Talik, let's play it. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, and our team created the most powerful money management, wealth building, debt elimination system ever created. At our recent seminar in Nashville, Tennessee, the keynote speech was delivered by the #1 motivational speaker in the world, Dr. Eric Thomas. E.T., as he's also known, mentioned he paid off his mortgage in 4 years using the P.I.L.L method. I invite you to watch and listen.
Listen to me, y'all. One of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down from my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
Did you hear that? No mortgage, no stress. If you would like to become debt and mortgage free within an average of 7 to 9 years by cutting your interest costs by up to 75%, go to PILLmethod.com and request a savings and earnings report today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. If you'd like to know the month, day, and year, if you have debt, let's say you've got mortgages, you got a mortgage, you got student loans, you got credit cards, you got a car loan, you got all of it, you know, and the average family has about 13 different debts. Did you realize that the average family on the P.I.L.L method program pays off all of their debt, even the 30-year mortgage, in an average of 7 to 9 years? If you would like to know the month, day, and year you could be debt free, then you want a savings and earnings report. So let's go. So all you have to do is click on the link above, and then you'll find where it says get a savings and earnings report. Let's put that up on the screen there, Talik. All right. So get a savings and earnings report. And once you get there, start filling out the information. Follow all of your follow all the information there and follow all the instructions. Once you follow the instructions, especially verifying the cell phone number, all right? Because we want to keep robots out of our system, all right? We want to know that you're a real person and not a robot, all right? So once you put your cell phone number in, click confirm, and then we'll send you a code as a text, all right? And then once you get that code, all right, then put that in back into the website and then click on where it says, yes, I want to save. That will let you into the financial form. Fill it all out. hit submit, and within 48 hours, our team will take that, give you a call. Somebody from our team will give you a call, and then we'll verify those numbers. Once the numbers are verified, we can then produce a savings and earnings report and let you know how you can pay off all of your debt in an average of 7 to 9 years without having to refinance, without having to need more money. You don't need more money. We're just going to show you how to pay less interest. And you can do this without sacrificing lifestyle, meaning you can have a fantastic lifestyle. All right. You can have an optimized lifestyle. You can live well and get out of debt and save more money. You can have the best of all of these worlds when you have a program that is designed to take you where you want to go. All right, folks, listen, we're going to get started in here this morning. We have some new people in here. And folks, if you want to see what I have on the screen, I'm putting something up on my screen right now. If you want to see it, go to Facebook or YouTube, and then search P.I.L.L Method, and you'll be able to see what we have there. Okay. So right now I have on my screen a mortgage of $450,000 at 7.25%. And some people might think, ooh, that's a lot. That's a lot of interest. Let me show you something that's unique about having a high interest rate. All right. Now, we just showed how much interest we could get rid of for $353.16. If you pay it at the right time, you can cancel $2,716.63 worth of interest you never have to pay. Now, I need you to focus in on cumulative principal and cumulative interest. And oh, by the way, thank you for the 6 shares. Okay. Thank you, folks. I appreciate it. And let me see here. If I go to the right here, I can say, Jamie, thank you for sharing the room. Saeed, thank you for sharing the room. And Lena Baker, thank you for sharing the room. Anybody that's new, go ahead and share the room as well. All right. So here's what we've got. If you want to see this, go on YouTube. And once you get to YouTube, go ahead and click subscribe and then like the videos. If you like this video, go ahead and click like, and also comment on the videos. That way, YouTube will pick that up. The algorithm will do their thing, and then more people, this video will be pushed out to more people, so it will appear in their feed. All right. So when it appears in their feed, guess what you're doing? You're helping people understand debt at a better level, and all you did was share. Oh my goodness. Here we go, folks. So we just went over what $353 can do, killing $2,700 in interest. I need you to take a look at 1 year on this loan. After 1 year on this loan, you would pay this loan down by $4,355.31. But guess how much interest you would pay? Look at this. Do you see this? $32,000 in interest the first year. $32,482.17 in interest. I just need to ask you, do you think it's fair to pay out all of that money every single month, over $3,000 a month, and only have $4,000 go to your loan in 1 year, while the bank sucks up $32,000 of your hard-earned money? If you listen, you tell me if that's fair or not. Do you believe that's fair? Tell me. What do you think about that? Tell me if you believe that's fair. Do you believe it's fair that the bank gets $32,000 of your dollars, where only $4,300? Jamie says no. Jamie says no. That's not fair. Anybody else? Anybody else think that's not fair? All right. So I need you to kind of get engaged this morning. In fact, I need you to be a little enraged this morning. Not just engaged. I need you to be enraged. And Mr. Hassan says, of course not. Of course not. It's not fair. Let me show you what can happen. The reason why this thing works so well for the bank is that every month you make a regular payment every month, at the first of the month, the bank gets to charge you interest on the unpaid balance every single month. So if you make your payment every month on time, it's $2,700, $2,700, $2,700, $2,700 in interest each month. But if you know you're going to give the bank $4,355.31, you don't have to give it to them in 12 monthly installments. What if, we're going to play around a little bit here this morning. What if you gave it to them all at one time? What if you had a few bucks in the bank? All right? And you had $4,355.31 extra in the bank. All right? Amongst all of your money, you could take, let's say you take that money out. Do you think you could pay $4,355 all at one time? If you did that, I mean, if you have it, if you don't have it, that's quite all right. I'm not saying that you have to. I'm just saying if you did. If you did pay it all at one time on line 1, did you realize you'd be paid down to line 12 in 1 month? Did you realize that you would skip out on $29,787.47 worth of interest you never have to pay? Doggone it, that's powerful. You would get the same equity that you would get in a year, and it would cost you $29,787 less. That is powerful. So who wants to keep giving that money to the bank? No, we don't. We don't want to give it to the bank. I want to get my equity a lot cheaper. Do you realize if you do it the bank's way, to get your $4,355, it costs you $32,000. Doing it the P.I.L.L method way, it could only cost you $2,700 to get your $4,355 in principal. I think that's better, don't you? Now, let's take a look at what I mean by giving the bank the right amount of money so that you can leverage your money more efficiently and get a bigger bang for your buck. Now, this is just a small example, but then I'm going to bring up our program and then run the program for you and let you see some things there. Okay? So now we're taking a look at what we have here on the screen. We have, so that you can see line 12 and you can see line 24. This is very powerful. On line 12, if we pay it just like the bank wants us to for 1 year, we'll get $4,355.31. It'll cost $32,000 in interest. On line 24, I need you to take a look at line 24. Line 24. On line 24, you would pay your mortgage all the way down to by $9,037 in 24 months. But guess what? Your interest cost would be $64,000. Folks, it is important for us to see it this way. Doing it the bank's way, this is how we're going broke. You want to know why it takes so long to pay off debt? Right now, that is over $73,000 paid out in just 2 years. 73 grand paid out in just 2 years. And out of all of that money, only $9,000 goes to you. That should not be. I think more people ought to understand this for themselves. So if we were to prepay the $9,000, let's say you could do it. I'm not saying you have to, but if you could, you could skip out over $60,000 worth of interest you never have to pay. And folks, if you could lower your interest bill by $60,000, what could you do with the $60,000 instead of giving it to the bank? What do you think? So I need you to take a look at line 12 and line 24. And when you do that, all right, when you look at line 12, when you look at line 24, what if you have plenty of money in the bank? What if you have plenty of money in the bank? And I'm going to ask you, which makes more sense to you? to prepay the $43.55 on line 12 or to prepay the $9,037 on line 24. All right. And I need you to put it in the chat. Which one makes the most sense to you? All right. Prepay the 9,000 or prepay the 4,000. Get rid of 24 payments or just get rid of 12 payments. Get rid of 32,000 in interest or get rid of 64,000 in interest. Which makes the most sense to you? Line 12 or line 24? All right. Come on. All right. And Steve Mack says the 9K. Prepay the 9K. All right. All right. And because we would kill about over $60,000 in interest and knock off 24 months of payments. So here's what I need you to see, folks. Here is what's really going on behind the scenes. Here's what the banks don't want you to know. They don't want you to know how powerful a dollar is. How much interest can a dollar eliminate? If you pay an extra dollar to your mortgage, would you like to know how much interest you can eliminate? Because listen, it won't do very much for the principal amount. I mean, if you owe over $400,000 and you pay an extra dollar, I mean, that doesn't do very much for you. But let me show you what a dollar will do in terms of interest savings. I'm putting it on the screen now. All right. So if we prepay the $4,355.31, okay, we will save 12 months of payments, and it saves us a ton of interest. So let's put that interest amount in the program here in the calculator. $32,482.17. Oh, by the way, folks, if you have a question, raise your hand. I'll stop whatever I'm doing and take your question. All right. Especially if you have to leave. So I want you to be able to get your question in right away. Raise your hand, come to the stage, and let's talk about it. All right. But in the meantime, I've got $32,482.17 in my calculator. We're going to divide that by the $4,355.31. So that's $4,355.31 equals $7.45. Oh, $7.46. $7.46. What just happened? You just learned what it means to engage in unit pricing on your mortgage. We just found out by prepaying $1, it saves you $7.46 in interest. Have you ever looked at your mortgage that way before? Well, we need to. So let me ask you, if you gave me $1 and I gave you back $7.46, how many times would you guys do that? Huh? How many times would you do it? A lot. All right. So here's what we mean. So the bank has to do the very same thing. If you give them $1 on this mortgage at the right time, it makes it impossible for them to charge you $7.46. So for every dollar you give them, that's another $7.46. So if you give them $2, you double it. If you give them $4, you got to double it again. So for listen, for $5, let me see, an extra $5. Anybody got an extra $5 applied to this loan? Watch this. I'm going to multiply this by $5. An extra $5. That's less than a cup of coffee. For an extra $5, it would knock off $37.29 off your mortgage, off this mortgage. Isn't that powerful? $5 really means $37 in interest savings. Oh my goodness. That's the way to take a look at this thing. Okay. So now let's see what would happen if we did line 12. Remember, we're going to have to divide this by 5 again. Okay. Remember, it was $7.46. Let's write that down. $7.46 Now we're going to do line 24. 64,000, okay? Let's put that up there. Okay, line 24, we're going to clear that out. We're going to put in 64,637 and 89 cents. And we're going to divide it by the $9,000 that we could prepay. So we're going to divide that by $9,037.07 equals $7.15. So folks, here's what the bank's not telling you. It matters how much you pay and when. Because if I pay my dollar at a certain point, I can save $7.46 worth of interest. If I pay my dollar at another point, I can only save $7.15. So folks, do you want your dollar to do as much work for you as it possibly can? So it's important to find out, this is what isolating the principal amount means. Paying the right amount at the right time and killing that interest. Anybody have any questions about any of that? Raise your hand, come to the stage, or ask any question you choose. All right, so let's get into, does everybody understand this part? Because I'm getting ready to put on the screen our program. All right, so let me put this up here. All right, and I'm putting it up on a new. All right, let me get rid of this, get rid of this. All right, and we're putting up on a new, all right, get rid of that. All right, and let's see here. There we go. Let's pull this back. All right, so I'm going to put up our opportunity cost calculator, and I'm going to show you how powerful it is when a computer takes all of this information and does something with it. All right, so let's go ahead and get that up and running, get that ready to go. And since it's cloud-based, the reason why I couldn't have it ready is because since it's cloud-based, it times out. So I can't have it just sitting there without it turning off anyway. So we're going to bring it up so you guys can see what's happening. All right, so we are ready. There it is. Let's bring it over. All right, here's our opportunity cost calculator. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to run some different scenarios. Let's put in a scenario where you have more than one mortgage for you real estate investors, okay? So let's go ahead. I'm going to reset this account. And if you want to see this, go to YouTube and search P.I.L.L method. That's going to be the fastest and easiest way. Go to YouTube on a separate device and search for P.I.L.L method and click the live. All right? So, no, I want to put in multiple mortgages. Let me put in multiple properties. There we go. That's what I want to put in. We want to put in multiple properties. And this one, we have about 10 properties in here, okay? And I'm going to show you how important it is for when you have a program like this to put money on the debt, all right? So we have here the action plan. And in the action plan, we track our finances. We track how much income we have coming in, and we track how much we're paying out. And I'm going to tell you right now, we start this plan in August. So we got August, we got September, we got October, and we got November here. So you can see 3 months at a time. So I'm going to just, so we're finishing up August here, okay? So we'll just execute August. So August can be gone. All right, we execute that. All right, so now we're into September, and now we have $15,000 worth of rents coming in. We have our mortgage payments. Here's mortgage number 6. Here's mortgage number 8. Here's the third mortgage. Here's the second. Here's the fourth. Here's the first mortgage. Here's the HELOC. the 5th mortgage, the 9th mortgage, and the 10th mortgage. We're making our regular mortgage payments out of our $15,000 coming in. But what the program is doing is that if there's any extra money, the program says, let's put that away in savings after all the bills are paid. So watch what happens here. So no extra money goes to the debt in September. But the program says, let's put a little extra money after we've gained our rents again for the next month. Let's put the right amount at the right time on the right mortgage. So the program is saying we're going to pay the HELOC off in October. But look what it's saying here. Of all the money we have in the bank, all right, let's see how much money we have in the bank. All right, so we've got, all right, let's execute that. Okay. All right, and then we'll go to accounts. Let's see how much we're working with. And there we go. All right, we got about $15,000 in checking. We got $5,000 in savings. All right, and then as we go through the program tells us how much to put in savings. So we're going through the program. Program says, all right, let's take some money, let's put it in savings, and in this case, we're going to put this amount and this amount in savings. So we're going to do that. We're going to execute multiple actions. We're going to execute that, do the whole thing, and there we are. So now the program says any extra money we have available after the bills are paid, we put that in savings. So if we go back to accounts, we can now see we have over $15,000 in savings. All right? But the program says here, let's put only $7,000 on the mortgage, and we'll put it on mortgage number 9. In fact, we're going to get very specific. $7,191.67, not a penny more. Not a penny more. So if we do that, look what happens. The program will then do some additional math and say, if you put $7,191.67 on mortgage number 9, you will save a whopping, I need you to focus in here. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. I got to blow that up. For $7,191.67, if you're a real estate investor, you may have that in your reserve fund. You may have that in your repair and maintenance fund. Okay, so the program says, can we borrow a small amount of your maintenance fund, pay $7,000 and take it and advance it to mortgage number 9, $7,191.67, and kill $80,044.61 worth of interest you never have to pay. Folks, do you see why it's important to leverage the right amount of money at the right time? Leverage the right amount of money at the right time. Any questions out there? Anybody want to come to the stage? Continue to share the room. All right. Continue to share the room. And we are going to get in just a little bit deeper. Does everybody understand what we're just talking about? Because if you were to pay this mortgage down the way the bank wants you to, by the time you have paid it down by $7,191.67, you would have given the bank $80,000 in interest. We just showed by giving that money to the bank early, disrupting their timing, it makes it impossible for them to charge you $80,000 in interest. Let me see if there's any comments in here. Somebody, Cassandra said, incredible. Okay. Steve Mack says the power of the penny. Steve Mack says, let's go. All right. So folks, this is what's so important here. we need to get our equity. We need to understand what's going on in the banking industry so that we can stop spending our children's inheritance on interest. How can I return the bank's money to them in a way that doesn't disrupt my financial apple cart, but it eliminates having to pay them a ton of interest? That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. That if I don't pay attention, I will make $87,000 in payments to this bank and only get $7,000 worth of benefit out of $87,000. That is ridiculous. So if you have any questions and you want to put it in the chat, we'll handle your questions in the chat. If you're online and you see this and you want to ask a question online, put it in there, because I work better with questions. All right. Or put your comment in the chat. All right. Mr. Poole, how are you doing, sir? All right. Listen, we've got a chat. Okay. All right. So, folks, let's talk about this. Let's talk about what's going on here. I'm going to break this down, not in for multiple mortgages. Let's break it down for just one. Okay. So I'm going to take this out. I'm going to put in, let me minimize this now. We're going to take this scenario out, and we're going to take out the multiple mortgages, and we're just going to put in a scenario where we just have 3 loans. We've got a car loan, we've got a mortgage, and we've got a credit card. All right. So once we get that loaded in, we'll be able to talk about that. So let's see, because not everybody is a real estate investor. Some people are residential home buyers. So we want to have an example that is good for residential home buyers as well. We have 6 people online. We have 9 people in here. While I'm getting the next example, could you share the room a few more times? Get a few more people in here so that they can see what's going on. All right. So now we have John and Rebecca. All right. And they have, let's take a look at their accounts. They have a checking account with $500 in it. They have a savings account with $5,000 in it. Their auto loan is $25,000 at 4%. They have a Visa at 21%. They owe $2,000 on it, and a $200,000 mortgage at 6%. Okay. So what they're going to do is take a look at their action plan, and I'm going to point out for you how the program actually operates. I'm just going to go through how all of this works. So now John gets paid $950 back on September 1st here. So we're going to execute that and tell the program he got paid. Okay? So it disappears from the screen. Where did it go? Well, since that money was direct deposited in his bank account, the program needs to know how much he has in his bank account as well. So when he got paid, it went as a direct deposit to his bank. So we're telling the program that we received that $950. So we now have $1,450 in the program's virtual savings account. Okay. And it mirrors what John and Rebecca have in their checking account. So the program will always know how much money they have. So now when they do that, now we've got the utilities to pay. We've got the phone bill to pay. They've got enough money for the food and dining for the month. They pay on their Visa. Look at this. Look at this. So they're paying their bills. Watch. Do you see these little red arrows? The red and blue arrow. The red and blue arrow. That is the program's way of prompting you as to what to do so that we can optimize the use of your money. All right. So when you optimize the use of your money, the program says, you know what? Out of everything you have to pay right now in your checking account, you have $100.90 you don't need for anything else. Okay. And they pay the phone bill. So then the program says, okay, then Rebecca gets paid. And then over here it says, now in your checking account, now you have $388.72 in your checking account you don't need for anything else. So let's put that in savings. Take money from the checking account, put it in savings. From the checking account, put it in the savings. That's money you don't need for anything else. Okay? And when you go through this, we're not putting any extra money on the debt in September. And in October, we're doing the same thing. We're paying our bills and putting money away in savings, putting money away in savings, and putting away in savings. No extra money on the debt that month either. Do you realize most programs that are out there will tell you, find out how much money you want to put on debt every month. And then it will tell you when you'll be out of debt. And let's say you're going to be out of debt in 15 years by putting that on there. That means you have to put that same amount every single month, nonstop, for 15 years, not missing one time to accomplish that goal. Everybody who's ever tried that, most people have failed to put consistently the amount of money that they wanted to put on the mortgage because stuff happens. Life happens. Hot water heaters blow up. We have to put 5 people on a plane in an emergency situation to say goodbye to Aunt Martha. Okay? And so that blows the budget. We're not putting anything extra on the debt that month. All right? So what you want is a program that can move with you, that says whatever you have, whatever's going on, you tell the program, and then the program will adjust to you and then give you new instructions every time something comes up. Every time life happens, tell the program, we had to spend this much money. Program says, no problem. We'll just recalculate, and now here's your new instructions. It is simple as that. Now watch this. So now John and Rebecca Jones are saying, well, when is the program going to put money on debt? Let's take a look at this window up here, upper left-hand window. We're starting in September, but the program is predicting by November 7, John and Rebecca will have $3,120 to put on debt. All right? And that's when they'll apply it. So let's sneak a peek, since we can see 3 months at a time. Let's sneak a peek down at November and see what happens. So let's go down. We're scrolling down and look here. The program says on November 7, we're going to pay the Visa off and put some money on the mortgage. Wow. And it says exactly how much. Let me tell you, I'm going to give you another little example of what the program is doing. Gathering up fragments of money. When we gather up fragments of money, and we can do some additional damage to the mortgage with small amounts. Let me give you an example here. Do you see this utility bill? This is an average for the utility bill. But what if the utility bill isn't $200? Okay? What if the utility bill this month is actually, because we were on vacation, we weren't home, whatever. All right? The utility bill was only $150. So the program says you have $50 that you could have spent on the utility bill, but you did not. So since you had planned to spend it and you did not, the program is going to give you something to do with that $50. So it says, let's put it in savings. Once you put it in savings, hi Liza, good morning to you. Once you put that $50 in savings, guess what? The program will say, oh, because of that $50, you're going to save some additional interest, about $250 more in interest, because that $50 you could have paid on your power bill, you didn't have to pay it. So since you were going to spend it anyway, let's kill some additional interest with that money, an extra $250 worth of interest you don't have to pay the bank. If more people knew what small amounts of money could do in causing interest savings, we would pay more attention to our small amounts of money. So this program is going to pick up all those extra amounts of money and add it to the system and tell you how much interest you could save with that. All right? So let's do this. I need you all to see. I'm going to run through 3 months on this program. Okay? I'm going to run through 3 months. We're going to start in September and run it all the way to November 7. Oh, no. Not yet. I got one more example to show you. Let me show you this first. Okay? Let's go down and take a look at how much money the bank wants to put on the mortgage. The program wants to put on the mortgage. I need you to see this because we went over this in the previous example by not putting more money on the debt than we need to. I need to show you how a computer would handle an extra amount of money that we don't need. It's called violating the law of diminished return. There's a point at which if you put more effort into something, you do not get a greater benefit. So there's a point at which more is too much on everything, even in paying off a mortgage. You do not want to put too much money at the wrong time because we're only paying extra on the mortgage, not to pay it off faster, but to figure out how much interest we can get rid of to make the mortgage cheaper. Your credit cards cheaper, your car loan cheaper by eliminating interest payments you never have to pay. All right, watch this. So the program says, let me make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. If you're new to the room and you want to see what we have here, go to YouTube and search P.I.L.L method on a separate device and you can see this. Or you can watch the replay later because it's up there now. Just go to YouTube and join our, subscribe to our P.I.L.L method channel, and you can see all the videos that we've been doing for the past year. In fact, on the 21st of this month, we will be on doing this live broadcast, how to pay off mortgages for 7 years, in 7 years. That would be our 1 year anniversary. On the 21st of this month. Folks, we're at the top of the hour. You're in the P.I.L.L method room right now. And if you're not a member of this club, go ahead and click that green mansion at the top of the room and join this club. Follow me as your moderator. And whenever I'm in a room, listen, I may be talking about the P.I.L.L method. And so that you can learn more, just follow me. And so wherever I show up, come in and see what we're talking about. So since we're at the top of the hour, let's go ahead and let's hear again from Dr. Eric Thomas while I get a drink of water, because I've been talking constantly because I can't get people to come up and ask questions. All right. So let's hear from Dr. Eric Thomas while I get a drink of water, and let's see how he paid off his mortgage in 4 years using the P.I.L.L method. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, and our team created the most powerful money management, wealth building, debt elimination system ever created. At our recent seminar in Nashville, Tennessee, the keynote speech was delivered by the #1 motivational speaker in the world, Dr. Eric Thomas. E.T., as he's also known, mentioned he paid off his mortgage in 4 years using the P.I.L.L method. I invite you to watch and listen.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
Did you hear that? No mortgage, no stress. If you would like to become debt and mortgage free within an average of 7 to 9 years by cutting your interest costs by up to 75%, go to PILLmethod.com and request a savings and earnings report today. That's right, folks. Request your savings and earnings report today. If you want to do this for yourself, if you want to know how to beat the bank at their own game, if you are tired of paying all of that interest to the bank now that you know you don't have to, and you want a computer to guide you like financial GPS so that you can save the maximum amount of interest per dollar applied, because anybody can save interest. Anybody can pay off a loan early. But if you want to save the maximum amount of interest that is possible, then you would go to PILLmethod.com, or you can click on my digital business card, which is on the screen right now, ICE10K, ICE10K.com, and then find the button that says Get a Savings and Earnings Report. Or you can just go straight to our website, PILLmethod.com, and find the button that says Get a Savings and Earnings Report. Fill out all the information, follow all of the instructions, and it will let you into our financial form. Fill out the financial form, submit it, and somebody from our team will give you a call to confirm all of your numbers. Once the numbers are confirmed, then we'll set up a consultation for you, and you can learn the month, day, and year you could be debt-free and how much interest you can save. Our average client saves well over $100,000 in interest they never have to pay, and they're able to pay off all of their debt in 7 to 9 years using their current budget. You don't need more money, folks. We're just going to show you how to pay less interest. Let's go ahead and put the book up there, Talik. And if you want to know the basics of this, okay, listen, we're in the holiday season, okay? Out of 33 million titles on Amazon, there's only one book that talks about interest cancellation and how to beat the bank at their own game, and that's this book right here. All right. It's been a bestseller 5 times already on Amazon. We're trying to get it to a 6th time. All right. We're working on it. All right. So right now, I believe it's like if I look it up, I believe it was number 7, maybe yesterday. So let me go ahead and look it up right quick. And we're going to take a look on Amazon on another screen. Where are you, Amazon? There you go. And let's see where it is today. And let me see if we can get a few people to buy a copy and get it to number 1 again. All right, so let's see here. All right, so we can all participate in this. All right, so let's see here. Where is it? All right, I'll tell you in a minute. All right, so we are I can't tell. It's not telling me. It's not telling me this morning. Okay, right now we're number 9. All right, number 9. All right, number 9. Let's get it. I mean, out of 33 million titles, being number 9, I guess that ain't too bad. But let's see if we can get it to number 1. Okay, so get the book. Get it for your, get it for the holidays. It makes a great present for people who want to know more about how all of this works. We give you the basics here in this book. All right. It's not the same as having the opportunity cost calculator, but it will tell you why doing things the old way is so inefficient. Everything that you know about debt, you should get rid of. Everything you already think you know about debt, get rid of it. Read the book, find out why you need a new way of thinking about debt, the P.I.L.L method way. All right, let's get back to the example. Let me see if there are any questions in the chat. All right, let's move it. So let's see. Liza is saying, Grand Rising, everybody. And she says she says she may hoping to have a new client for the P.I.L.L method this week. Fantastic, Miss Liza. Thank you. And Derek says, do you have other testimonies in addition to Dr. Eric Thomas? Yes, I actually do on our website. A couple of other testimonials. Have you heard of the group Take Six. All right, so we have testimonials from one of the members of Take Six is on our website as well. We have individuals who are real estate agents who have a testimony. Let's see, we have several testimonies. So just go to P.I.L.L Method, our P.I.L.L Method YouTube channel, and check it out. Okay, and we have a great testimonial from two teachers. All right, let me see if I can bring that up on the screen, Talik, while we're doing this. I'm going to see if I can bring up our YouTube here, since somebody asked me. That's a good question. All right, so this is what our P.I.L.L Method channel looks like. Let's take a look at the videos. And no, I don't want that. See, going home, and there we go. All right, so this couple here, they live in Alabama. All right, so we want to get rid of. Let me see. Let me turn that down so we can get past this commercial here. All right, and bring this up on the screen. All right, this couple here with their children, they're in Alabama, and the title of theirs is, they went from $13.06 in the bank to eliminating $24,000 worth of debt in just 11 months. How about that, Derek? So that is something for you there. All right, let's get out of here. And let's see what else we've got. Oh, here is a couple right here. This couple paid off their first mortgage in 6.5 years. All their student loans were gone the next year. And this couple lives right here in Huntsville, Alabama. He's a realtor here. And in fact, he mentions his company right in the video. So he is a real person. They're getting ready to pay off their fourth house on this program, and they started in 2008. All right. So that's what those are just some of the testimonials. And the testimonial from Take Six actually is at the beginning of this video here, the P.I.L.L Method from 2010. So we have some testimonials. All right. And let's see here. I got some other testimonials on our Facebook page from all over the world. Got some people from Australia that have given us a video testimonial. So, Derek, there you go. All right. Thank you for asking the question, though. I think you're the first person that asked that question. All right. So anybody else have a question this morning or a comment? And if you're in the audience and you want to know more, raise your hand, come to the screen, come to the stage. Let's talk about it. All right. We're moving back to the program here. Okay. Oops, not that. Sorry. There it is. All right. Here is a program. So we're going to talk about, we're going to show you what would happen if we, let me see here, October, November. Okay, let us reset the program. Okay, so we're going to reset the account. And I want to show you folks what happens when you do put too much money on at the wrong time. Okay? When we violate the law of diminished return. So we're going to load the program back in. We're going to reset it and scroll down to where it says put the money on the mortgage. All right? So if we put this money on the mortgage, let's execute this. If we put $1,116.98 on this mortgage, we're going to save $5,435.91 in interest. Okay? I'm going to move this over. As you can see here in the upper right-hand window, if we follow this program to the T, John and Rebecca Jones will save $179,390 in interest they don't have to pay the bank. Therefore, by doing this, all right, they will be able to pay off all of their debt in 7.7 years. Their mortgage, their credit card, and their car loan gone in 7.7 years. In the time it was going to take them to pay off their car, they're going to be completely debt-free, even on their mortgage. Wow. All right. So by following the program, it says now, out of all the money they have in the bank, over $5,000 at this point, the program just says take $1,116.98 of it and put it on the mortgage and save $5,435.91 in interest. All right. But watch what happens when I decide. Now, if you want to see the example I gave earlier, watch the replay. And I showed on an amortization schedule what happens when we pay too much at the wrong time. The amount of interest that we could save per dollar actually goes down. So the program says, let me do this on the screen for you. We're going to put our calculator back on the screen and shows what happens here. If we take our interest savings here, the $5,435.91, $5,435.91, and divide it by what the program says to pay on the mortgage at this time, $1,116.98. So we're going to divide it by $1,116.98. We find out that we can save at this point $4.86 or $4.87 since it goes to 4.866. So we round up the 86 to 87 cents. All right, $4.87. What if I decided that we didn't want to do that? I'm going to copy this. Okay, and I'm going to put in that we want to pay off $1,500 instead. The program will then instantly recalculate our interest savings to $7,259.78. So we're going to save $4.87. Okay, if we do it the other way, but let's put our calculator back on the screen. All right, and put in our 7,000, clear it out, put in our 7,259, 7,259.78, and divide it by 1,500. We get 4.83 or 4.84. So do you see there? You were actually saving less per dollar when we put too much on at the wrong time. Let me show you what kind of compounding effect that has over a long term. We're losing money. All right. Let me show you what happens when we do that over a long term. Watch your $179,390 up here in the upper right hand corner. When we decide we want to pay more, and the program says, wait till the 7th of the month. Now we make our mortgage payment on the 1st of the month. So the program says, make your mortgage on the 1st, make your mortgage payment on the 1st, then wait 6 days, and then put an additional money on principal. All right. We were supposed to put on this amount. Paste it back. Okay. We're supposed to put on that amount. Okay. 1116.98 to be able to accomplish this. But I'm saying I want to do 1,500, and I don't want to wait till the 7th. I want to pay it on the 1st. So I'm paying more and I'm paying sooner. Most people would think you should be able to get a better result when you pay more and you pay sooner. But it's important to pay the right amount at the right time. All right. So if you're online, you definitely want to share this. If you're in the room, go to YouTube and watch this. So I'm going to click on this and say, oh, watch your $179,390 390. Let's watch the last three numbers here. The 390, when we pay more and we're paying sooner. Because 179, 390 to 179,339. We're actually saving less money overall when we pay more at the wrong time. The idea of getting out of debt, folks, I want to make this very clear. The idea of getting out of debt has nothing to do with throwing money at your debt willy-nilly. It is an exact science that you can take advantage of using a program that is uniquely designed and created to beat the bank's computer at their own game. It's not enough just to pay extra. You know, people say all you have to do is pay extra. You know how many times people have said that to me? All you have to do is put a little extra on your mortgage. Pay your bills on time. That's all you have to do. But guess what, folks? When you're doing all you have to do, none of those people can tell me how much interest they're saving when they're doing what they're doing. If you can't tell me how much interest you're saving, if you can't measure your savings, you can't optimize it. You can't optimize what you cannot measure. You have to know whenever I pay $1 and whenever I pay that $1, how much interest am I canceling with that $1? It is the timing and it is the amount of money you put on your mortgage at any given time that will increase or decrease the amount of interest you can save at any one time. And we've seen it here. So, folks, let's go through. I'm going to reset this thing now, and we're going to go through 3 months, and I'm going to show you how the program can optimize your savings here. So we're going to go into back into resetting the account. Okay, and then we're going to reset this, and we're going to run through 3 months, just so that you can see. So, folks, it's 8:20. We're going to be ending this room at the top of the hour. All right, and I haven't had a single question. So, is it so? Listen, am I that entertaining that people just want to listen to me? Come on, come up to the stage, ask a question. All right, put your 2 cents in. All right, I see. Let me see here. I see GB in here, and he's an MLO. GB. Oh, listen, some people are at work and they just have us on in the background listening. So I understand if you're at work, but listen, if you're at work, go ahead and put something in the chat. So Derek has something in the chat here. It says, do you have to make your mortgage payment on the first of every month? No, you don't. In fact, I never do. I never make my mortgage payment on the first. Guess what today is? Today's the 16th of the month. My mortgage is automatically set to get paid on the 16th of the month. Can anybody tell me why? Why I don't pay my mortgage on the first of the month, why I can pay on the 16th of the month and be okay. Can anybody put in the chat as to why that happens? I never, ever pay my mortgage on the first. All right, first day of interest. So listen, the GB says, listen, when I give my money to the bank on the first, who has it and who can make interest on that money? The bank makes interest on that money. So if I keep it for 15 days, who can make interest on it if I keep it for 15 days? I keep it for 15. I get to make the money with that. I get to leverage that. So when I finally pay on the 16th of the month, does it cost me any extra to pay on the 16th of the month? Does the bank charge me more, GB, if I pay it on the 16th of the month? Let's see what GB says. Does the bank charge? Not if I don't exhaust my grace period. I'm paying before the end of the grace period. So if I pay before the end of the grace period, GB, what happens? Do I get an extra charge? Can I use up every day on the grace period? There you go. All right. This is no charge. There's no charge. Cassandra says, I can't wait to enroll so I can see how much I can save. Cassandra, listen, I would love to be able to show you. I would say we have a whole staff of people that is waiting, that they're waiting on you. Do you know that we have a full customer service team that is US based? That when you call our 800 number, somebody answers the phone between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Central time. I'm sorry. It's our office. That office is in Salt Lake City, so that is Mountain Time. All right. So if you want to, in fact, let me show you where that is on our program. Let me show you. Let me minimize this. All right, on our program, you can see our little headset here. And under the headset is all of our information on how to contact us, our customer service team. We're open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Okay, here's our 800 number, and we have, we've got even video training here, so you can understand how our program works. All right. Even setting it up, how to complete the setup wizard, how to itemize your expenses, how to put everything in there. So if you want to know how, so we've got, and it's all US based. Okay. So nothing outside the US, not our servers, our IT workers, everybody is US based. All right. So that is good. So thank you for bringing that up. And Cassandra, I want you to know, you've got a whole team waiting to work with you. So go to PILLmethod.com, put in and click on your savings and earnings report, fill out the information, and someone from my staff will get a hold of you in the next 48 hours. How's that sound? Just tell us what time to do that. All right. So let me see here. Let me see. All right. Thank you. All right, we've got my engineer tells me we've got a comment. It says, can you do that for your car note? Jeremiah Sam says, yes, you can. All of this works for your cars as well. This is because, let me show you here. For John and Rebecca Jones, they have a car note. Okay, they have an auto loan here, $25,000. All right. And it's all going to be paid off in 7.7 years. Their car, their credit card, and their mortgage, all done in 7.7 years. So the answer is yes, Mr. Jeremiah Sams. He's watching us on YouTube right now. All right, so let's go through 1 month on here, and then I will show you on the last example what happens if you should pay your debts out of turn, paying them off in the wrong order. Okay? And so we're going to compare the P.I.L.L method with the debt snowball. All right? The debt snowball works, but it's highly inefficient. So we're going to compare the two in just a minute. So I'm going to show you how we can do, instead of clicking on each one individually, because I could tell the program we're going to execute and tell the program that John got paid here $950. All right? And I could click on each one, but I don't have enough time for that this morning. So we have an extra button here that says I can select the entire month and execute the entire month all at one time. So if I click on execute multiple, all right, I can do the entire month. I'm also going to put in here some changes. Our utility bill wasn't $200. It was actually $150. All right, so we're going to tell the program that. All right, and for now, we're not going to make any other changes. So we're going to execute the entire month right now. There it is. So the entire month is gone. And so we have October here. So now we're in October. And let's take a look at our $179,000 515. Oh, we were at 7.7 years to pay off. Now we're at 7.6. So now we're going to do the entire month again. We did September. Now we're going to do October. We're going to execute multiple actions. Okay. And we're going to select all and execute that. And now we're seeing, well, look here. We have $109 in actual interest saved just by doing the first 2 months. Look at that. $109 in actual interest saved. Now, let's look at here. Now we're down into November, and we're just going to click on just a few of these just to get us into paying the extra money and paying off the Visa to zero. And we're going to put $1,202.30 on the mortgage right here. And we're just going to execute that far. And I need you to see what happens when we do that. So we started in September. It is now November. We've saved up some money in our savings account. We have over $5,000 in savings, but we're going to put a little bit on paying off the debt right now. We're going to show you how powerful that is when we execute multiple actions. All right. And select and then execute. Watch this. I need you to take a look at the upper right-hand window. Buy in 2 months, starting in September, saved up some money, put it in our savings account, took some money out of the savings account, and applied it to the debt. Saved us $7,616 in interest we never have to pay. That is how you get out of debt, by paying money to the bank in a way which makes it impossible for them to charge you interest. And because of that, it saves us $7,000 in interest. When your actual amount of interest saved matches your potential amount of interest saved, then you will be out of debt. How about that, folks? All right. All right. So I've got one more example to go over. I'm going to now show not just why it's important to pay the right amount at the right time in isolating the principal amounts, but we're going to isolate the principal amount and making sure that we're paying the right loan at the right time. All right. And so we're going to contrast the P.I.L.L method and the debt snowball. Anybody heard of the debt snowball? Put it in the chat if you've ever heard of the debt snowball. All right. Go ahead. Put it in the chat if you've ever heard the debt snowball. If you've heard about it online, go ahead and put the debt that you've heard of the debt snowball in the comment section. All right. Cassandra says yes. Derek says yes. We've heard of the debt snowball. So if you haven't, here's how Lena says yes, she has too. This is how the debt snowball works. So you pick out the smallest debt that you have, okay, that you owe the least amount on. You figure out how much money you want to put on that debt, all right, every month, extra on top of the principal, all right? You pay extra, and then you pay that debt off early. You pay it all the way down to zero, okay? Now, the minimum payment plus the extra amount that you used to pay on that debt, now that minimum payment, you roll that or snowball that into putting that extra amount plus the minimum payment you used to pay on the debt you paid off to the next largest debt. And you do that, and you take that money and put it on that debt, and pretty soon that one is paid off. Now you take all of that money that you just created, so because now you've paid off 2 minimum payments, now you're snowballing that into that extra amount of money, and now you're putting that on another debt. And you keep snowballing until you've paid off all of your debt. All right? It works, but it's inefficient. And why? Does anybody know why the debt snowball is inefficient after you've spent some time in the P.I.L.L method? Does anybody know? Why is it inefficient? Okay, I'm waiting. I will let somebody go ahead, and if they're typing, we'll give you a chance to get it all done. Why is the debt snowball inefficient? All right. Giovanni says, Because you'll pay too much interest by using it. He is exactly right. Because Cassandra says interest, right? Because you're not paying attention to the interest cost on the loans. Watch this. All right. Derek says not applying at the right time. Of course, if you're not applying it at the right time, you're not choosing the right loan, you're going to pay more interest than you need to. What good is getting completely out of debt, doing your debt-free scream, and then you find out you paid $35,000 to $50,000 more in interest than you needed to? What good is that? Come on. Watch this, folks. Watch this. So here we are. I'm going to reset the program one more time, and then we're going to show what happens. I'm going to reset this account, and we're going to pay something out of turn. And I want to show you. Derek says exactly. All right. Exactly. All right. We're going to reset it, and then we're going to pay something out of turn. And I'm going to show you how robust the program actually is. All right. So there we go. Now we're just going to scroll down to what the program is telling us to do. The first debt that we pay off is the Visa. All right. The program says to do that. And there's different reasons why it's doing that. We got the algorithm in the program chooses which debt to attack and for what reason. Okay. So the program says pay off the Visa. So I'm going to go into accounts and I'm going to let you look at the accounts. So we have $2,000 that we owe on the Visa. The program says pay that off first. Do you see the minimum payment here? It's $50.88. So let me make that a little bit larger. All right, there we go. We got $50.88 that is the minimum payment on the Visa. So if we pay off the Visa and we take our little extra money, and if you are focusing on the debt snowball, which loan do we attack next? The auto loan or the mortgage? If you understand the debt snowball, somebody put it in the chat for me. All right. Which loan do we attack next? The mortgage or the auto loan, according to the debt snowball? Because we owe $25,000 on the car and we owe $200,000 on the mortgage. Which one do we attack next after paying off the car loan? We have $50.88 extra that we can put on the loan. Does anybody know? All right, I'm waiting. Come on, somebody type it in there. Which one do we attack next? What happened? Everybody go to sleep? I'll tell you. If you are focusing on the debt snowball, the one that you attack next is the auto loan, because it's the next. Well, we've already paid off the Visa. The Visa is done. So we're taking the $50.88 from the Visa that we've paid off. Which one do we attack next? That's my question, Derek. So if we paid off the Visa, now we don't owe the $50.88 anymore. Debt snowball says let's attack the auto loan, pay it off first. Exactly. All right. Cassandra says the car, pay that off, and now we'll have $50.88. Then we'll have $460.41. Add that to the $50.88. We add it together. That gives us about $510, almost $511 that we could put on the mortgage every month to help pay it off. All right. So that's how debt snowball works. All right. So let me go into the program and I'm going to click here. And yes, and Derek says, and then the mortgage. That's how the debt snowball works. All right. And so if you're following Mr. Ramsey, that has his office in Nashville, Tennessee, he calls these baby steps. And the mortgage is the last one, which is baby step number 6. Take care of these other things and then pay off the mortgage last. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go into Let me see here. We want manage profiles, notifications, preferences. So we're going to click on preferences, and I want to show you something in the program. All right. So over here to the left, we have program focus settings. Program focus settings. So if you click on focus settings, then you will see that we have another tab that is the program is set to automatic. The program chooses which debt to attack with what amounts. Or you can click the drop down and choose which one you want. You can override the program. So the program wants to choose, but we want to take the choosing out of the hands of the program. We want to run the debt snowball. Okay, so we want to choose the auto loan until it's paid off. So I'm going to click. Now I need you to watch the 7.7 years up here. If you want to see this, if you're new to the room, if you want to see this, go to YouTube right now on a secondary device. Go to YouTube and click on and search P.I.L.L method so you can see this. Okay. Derek says mortgage is a huge baby step. All right. All right. So folks, we got the 7.7 years. All right. And we have $179,390 in interest we want to save by following the program. All right. So watch what happens when we choose we're going to choose arbitrarily. We're going to choose the auto loan because that's what debt snowball says to do. So we'll choose the auto loan. Watch your numbers. 7.7 years and 179,390, and let the program recalculate. We're recalculating, and there we go. We were at 7.7 years to pay off. Now we're at 7.8. We were saving $179,000 in interest. Now we're only saving $177,000. By paying off the car 2 years early, it cost us an extra $2,000 a month, $2,000 rather, in total to get out of debt. It cost us $2,000 to pay the car off 2 years early. Why is that? Does anybody want to know why it's going to take us longer and cost us more interest to pay the car off early out of turn? Right? If you want to know, put a number 9 in the chat and I'll show you. Put a number 9 in the chat if you want to know why it's going to cost us more to pay the car off early. Tiana says, I want to know. Cassandra says, I want to know. She put it in there twice. All right. So listen, Lena says yes. Derek wants to know. All right. Cassandra's laughing. Don't be laughing at me. I'm doing my best over here. All right, folks, watch this. Watch this. So I'm going to put it back the way it was. We're going to put it back to automatic. Watch the GB says probably the mortgage. Ooh, GB, you listen. Flesh and blood did not reveal that unto you. Listen, you got it. So we got 7.7 years, right? Now watch this. I'm going to go into the accounts and I'm going to show you something how the program breaks this all down. We're going to go and take a look at the auto loan. We're going to click on history. And I need you to see how the auto loan is broken down. Okay, so when that opens up, we're going to load that in. All right, and we look over to the left. Let me see if I can make that just a little bit bigger so we can see it. All right, we look over to the left. Look here. Do you see how much the interest payments are? $83.33. Remember what we learned? If we prepay the principal, we don't have to pay the interest amount on that line of your amortization schedule. So if we prepay this $377.08, if we pay that early, we don't have to pay this $83.33 in interest. Well, $83 in interest, that's still quite a bit of savings. All right. But look at the interest payments here. So if we're going to focus on paying off this car. All right, Liza, thank you for being with us and watch the replay. All right. And I'm going to show everybody. Liza's off to training. Thank you very much for being here. So $83 in savings, $460 and 37 I'm sorry, $377.08 to prepay. All right. So while we're doing that, while we're killing $83 payments in interest, and it goes down from there, okay, because our total focus is the car. That means we're making minimum payments on the mortgage. Let's take a look at the mortgage while we're focusing on paying off the car. All right. So we're loading everything back in again. Come on. There we go. We're loading everything back in. And watch this. We're now going to go down to the mortgage and click on history for the mortgage. And when we come up, watch this. While we're saving $80 interest payments on the mortgage, look at the interest payments here. The very first one is $1,000. The second one is $999. While we are saving $80 interest on the car, we're paying thousands of dollars of interest on the mortgage. Cassandra says, wow, that's the first time she's ever seen that. Why does Mr. Ramsey say pay off these smaller amounts first with these smaller interest payments and leave the one where we're paying the largest amount of interest till last? If you follow the debt snowball, you will pay off your debt. And on average, you will pay well, actually, it's between $50,000 and $70,000 more in interest than you need to, because you delayed putting money on the mortgage and you paid some really huge interest payments on the mortgage. Folks, tell me, does the debt snowball make sense? Again, now here's the other thing. Tiana McNeil says, I see. Compared to the mortgage, paying the mortgage down goes farther than pay off. Yes, goes farther than paying off the car. Now, don't get this wrong. The program is designed to tell you when to put money on the car and when to put money on the mortgage. The car will still pay off before the mortgage, but the program won't completely ignore the mortgage. You see what I'm saying? There's times to put money on the car and there's time to put money on the mortgage so that you could save the exact amount of interest that you the most amount of interest that you possibly can for you. Here's the other thing you got to keep in mind. What if you have several debts? Expensive ones. What if you have multiple mortgages? All right. And the program is choosing which mortgage to attack so that we can save the most amount of interest. Watch this, folks. Listen to this. All right. Because we got 15 minutes left in the hour. All right. And we're going to be done. We spent time on isolating the principal amount today. On Friday, we're going to be here talking about the first L in the P.I.L.L method, leverage. Friday is leverage day, so you don't want to miss that. Okay? Tiana comes back and says, what if the interest rate on the car payment and the mortgage is the same? The interest rate can be the same, Tiana, but the interest cost will not be the same, because the interest cost is going to be different. All right? All right. Oh, Credit Goddess, I heard you. How you doing?
I am so tardy to the party.
Tardy to the party. Come on, Credit Goddess. Come on. How are you doing?
I've been super busy. I'm training 2 new VAs, so that's the reason why I'm late. I apologize, Don. I'm
listen,
here. I came in late.
Don't you ever in your life apologize for doing work. Okay? Not here. We don't do that here.
Right.
Miss Marina is in the building. Hello, Miss Marina. How are you doing this morning? All right. So, Miss Marina, if you ever want to come to the stage, just raise your hand. We'll bring you right on up. All right? Folks, it's getting close to tax time. Do you see Miss Marina there? You better tap. You better tap in. it's getting close to tax time. All right. She's the GOAT when it comes to that. All right, folks, here's what we're talking about. We're going to be here on Friday on another edition talking about the P.I.L.L method. We already talked about prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, and on Friday, we're going to be talking about leverage. So, folks, I want to finish this up. We just showed why paying off the mortgage last can hurt you if we do in the debt snowball and you spend too much time putting money on the wrong debt. Now, Miss Tiana wanted to know, what if the interest on the car and the mortgage is the same? Crystal, okay, wait a second here. I have not done my job here. Could you bring Crystal up while I'm doing this? Credit Goddess, I'd appreciate it. And there we go. All right. So, Tiana, let's do that. Let's talk about we owe. How much do we owe? Let's get back to the accounts. All right. And let's talk about what, because see, here's the thing, folks. When it comes to finances, don't take anybody's word for anything, especially even mine. Somebody asks me a question, my first answer is always, I don't know. Let's do the math and let the math teach you. Because guess what, folks? You could be a liar. People lie, but numbers don't lie. People lie, numbers don't lie. All right, so watch this. So we are, let me minimize that, okay? So how much do we owe on the car? We got $25,000 and we owe $200,000 on the mortgage. So I am going to put in Brett Whistle. All right. And we're going to do this again. So we have $200,000 on the mortgage at 6%. And that's our payment. And we have on the car, we have $25,000. $25,000. All right, at 6%. But we owe that for 60 months. Okay? Now, we're going to take a look at the same. Now, our payment is $483.32 here. And our payment here is $1199.10. Now, look at the interest cost on the mortgage. The interest cost starts out at $1,000. It goes to $999 and $998. On the car, at 6%, our interest starts out at $125, $123, $121. That's the difference. So when we take a look at the amount that we owe and we do our interest calculation, then we could see that the interest is going to be more because of the amount that we owe. So stop looking at the interest rate, folks, and start looking more towards the interest cost on the loans. So here's the last thing I want to point out, and we're talking about the debt snowball. All right, with the debt snowball, once you choose which loan to pay off, you stick with that loan until you pay it to zero. Then you take your principal amount and then you add it to the other loan. All right? So watch this, folks. Watch this. If you have multiple, let's say you have 5 mortgages. All right? You have 5 mortgages. And I'm going to put a mortgage payment. I'm going to put a mortgage up here. So let's say you have 5 mortgages. And you choose the right one to attack because of the interest cost on the loan. If you keep attacking that, will the interest cost on that loan actually become less than the other 4 eventually? Watch this. I'm going to scroll down here on this loan. I need you to see something. Do you see what happens after a while? how much do I have to prepay on this one? I've got $1,002.02. How much do I have to prepay to save $197 in interest? Do you see what happens after a while? You're putting a lot of money over here to save a small amount of interest the deeper you get into the loan. Does it make sense to pay it off to zero when you could be putting that money on the other loan and killing more interest? Or does it make sense to attack a particular loan until it's cheaper than the other loans and then attack another loan? Oh, people are beginning to see now. People are beginning to understand it now. That is why the debt snowball, again, is inefficient. We should attack a loan until it comes cheaper than the other loans and then attack the more expensive loans. And if you do that, you will save the maximum amount of interest that's mathematically possible. Folks, we have 7 minutes left in the hour. I have two ladies that have joined us on screen. We have Credit Goddess and Miss Crystal Armstrong. Please introduce yourself and tell us what you do, and then we'll have Crystal do the same. Credit Goddess might be working again, training her VAs.
I'm here. I'm here. I am working. I'm actually talking to my VA. Really quickly, hey everyone, my name is Rosalore Lewis, also known as Credit Goddess. I am all things credit, credit score improvement strategist, business credit coach, educator at B4 University, and NAV business loan broker. So when I say all things credit, I am like engulfed in credit, helping my clients get approved and never denied with funding, whether it's to purchase their home, start a business, purchase their first car, whatever it is. Credibility is so, so, so important because America runs on credit. So I teach you in the concept of relationships, how to build relationships with banks and creditors so that way you can be approved for their product and services. So definitely tap in with me. I'm going to talk to you. I need to set up a meeting with your assistant, but I'm actually going to be doing like a 12 days of Christmas challenge. I want all the experts that's on Clubhouse to just gift those that are loyal listeners an opportunity to prepare themselves for 2023. So I'm going through the four quadrants of Robert Kiyosaki, four quadrants of going from employee to self-employed to business owner to investor, and giving you guys, actionable steps on how to prepare and move along in the quadrants. So we're going to have each day where we're going to talk about that one particular thing. So depending on where you are, those that are listening, those that are in the audience, where you are, our experts are going to give you actionable steps on what you need to do so that way you can propel to the next level. So that's coming up. I'm trying to figure out what day I want to do it on, the first 12 days of December or 12 days leading up to Christmas or a little after. So I'm setting all that up, and that's the reason why I've been busy just cooking something up for the folks in the audience. So if you guys are interested, I am going to put a link where you guys can send your email address to, so that way whenever we come up with this day and all the experts and what they're willing to give to you guys as a gift for Christmas, definitely inbox me so that way I have your information and will blast you once that's ready. But that's what I've been working on. That's what I've been cooking on, Ice, and I would love for you to be a part of that and see where you can fit, because I know in the investing side, I think that's where you will fit the most. But that's going to be that day for you to talk about how to cancel interest costs from having things.
Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Miss Crystal Armstrong, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Mr. Dunn. Good morning, Rose. I'm wonderful. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Would you please introduce yourself to the folks and let them know what you do?
Absolutely. So I am a serial entrepreneur. I own several businesses, and I'm located in Dallas, Texas, and currently expanding because I'm just looking for more ways to become less active and more passive in the work that I do to free me up to help other people. And I own a consulting firm, marketing consulting, as well as strategy and branding. I own a luxury travel agency, and I am an independent escrow officer licensed in the state of Texas. So I have been able to share the P.I.L.L method with many of my clients and direct them towards Mr. Don Ice P.I.L.L method man himself. And he's been able to speak with them and help them make some informed decisions, which is always the best way to make decisions. And I just want to continue helping people with more financial literacy, wealth literacy, and really just looking at ways to strengthen my community as we go into the new year and position people for wealth building. Also, continue to do that myself. And so I love this platform because it gives me access to people like Mr. Don, like Rose, who share every single day on this app and give freely of themselves, their knowledge and expertise. It's really helping a lot of people to start businesses, scale businesses, save money, because money saved is money earned. Now you have money for investing. And so it's just a wonderful network of people, and I enjoy being a participant daily. So thank you for this space, and thank you for allowing me to share.
You are so you are so welcome, Miss Crystal. Listen, saving. I love saving money. All right. And did I hear you say something about travel?
Yes, I own a luxury travel agency, and I have for 7.5 years
Luxury
because I
travel.
love to travel.
Okay. Guess what?
Yes.
Okay.
What?
D- I have some points, so on my credit card, and my wife and I are going to Dubai in March.
Love it.
Can you help me get the most out of my points? To
Absolutely.
You can do that?
To enjoy Dubai. Oh, yeah, I've been to Dubai.
Okay.
And I'm familiar with points. I use mine a lot as well. The key is to make the points go just as far as they possibly can
Uh-huh.
because they're really money.
Yes.
So a lot of the hotels, a lot of airline upgrades, different things that you can do with points. Actually, are you talking about American Express points or a different type of points?
American Express points.
So American Express has one of the most sophisticated international airline programs through their portal, through their travel portal, and they offer better rates than you can actually get on many of those international carrier websites. Now, I actually flew Emirates when I went to Dubai because that's
Yes.
their airline.
Yes.
That plane, and I know they have retired a lot of their A380 aircraft because that's their big double-decker plane, but that's what I flew when I went in 2016. So hopefully you can get on one of those.
Yes.
Even if you have to travel to one of the cities where they fly out of, it will make your experience so much better because even in economy, those seats are nice. But yeah, Dubai is going to be an amazing experience. You're going at a wonderful time of year. March is not too hot. You'll be able to really walk and enjoy and sightsee and everything I know y'all will want to do. So I'm excited.
All right,
Would
good,
love to
because we
help
want
you.
to go.
So
We
just
want to
let
go
me know.
business class.
Oh, you have to go business class
Yeah,
because you need to be comfortable. That's a long flight. It was
that's
14 and
right.
a
I
half
want to be
hours from
comfy.
Dallas. Yeah,
So
absolutely. And
let's
I know
talk
you
about.
like to travel in style.
So I also heard I could take my points, well, like American Express, and then kind of broker them through some other site and they actually are worth more. Is that?
That's correct. There are so certain partners they have where you transfer your points out
Yeah.
into, like, for example, Emirates is one of the partners. So if you transfer your points out to Emirates, it could convert 1-to-1, or it might convert with like a percentage ratio to where you get a little increase. So it might convert instead
Ooh,
of 1,000 points, it may convert over to 1,200.
I
So
love
you
that.
get that little bonus.
Come on
And
now.
then you might consider a different airline because of that, because I know Qatar has
Yeah.
a lot of those incentives as well, and they're neighboring to them. It's probably about an hour flight from Doha to Dubai, so a lot of people will take Qatar into Doha and then take that flight over to Dubai if you can get better point conversion.
Listen to you. Listen, that's what I'm talking
I'm
about.
a Middle East expert now. I know that territory. I love over there, despite what people may think, because we see things in America that kind of deceive us. But the UAE is a beautiful country. I was able to visit 5 of their 7 Emirates. Definitely looking forward to going back. I was actually supposed to go back in 2020 as they were preparing for the World Fair, but we all know what happened in 2020.
Okay.
So it's a lot there now, a lot more than when I was there in 2016 because they were building in preparation for the World Fair. So
All right.
we'll
Well,
get to see
listen,
a lot of
I've
it.
already joined British Airways, Air France, and Air Canada. I can join Emirates, and we'll see what we can do. And I would appreciate your help.
I'm happy to help. Just let
So,
me know when
folks,
you're ready.
did you hear that? On this stage, we've got a lot going on here. Lady Miz, my assistant has your information and should be reaching out to you if she hasn't already. Lady Miz wanted me to do her podcast. Thank you for showing up today. Miss Keisha, I see you out there. Let us talk today. And folks, listen, you've been here in the Pill Method Club for the last 2 hours, and we've gone over prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, and on Friday, we're going to be going over leverage, how to find the smallest amount of money that can give you the greatest benefit. All right, leverage is also a key. We're going to be right back here on Friday. I want to thank you for being here with us. I want to follow your moderators, follow the club. And listen, our last word is going to be from Eric Thomas. But remember, back here on Friday at 7 a.m. Central Time, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Thank you so very much for being here today. Dr. Eric Thomas, what's up? My name is Don Daniel, founder of Pill Method International, and our team created the most powerful money management, wealth building, debt elimination system ever created. At our recent seminar in Nashville, Tennessee, the keynote speech was delivered by the #1 motivational speaker in the world, Dr. Eric Thomas. E.T., as he's also known, mentioned he paid off his mortgage in 4 years using the Pill Method. I invite you to watch and listen.
Listen to me, y'all. One of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
Did you hear that? No mortgage, no stress. If you would like to become debt and mortgage free within an average of 7 to 9 years by cutting your interest costs by up to 75%, go to pillmethod.com and request a savings and earnings report today.